Well, here's something for music related, and you'd be one. You can think about this, and we'll ask it again later.
Okay.
I just read. What do you think the average cost of a concert ticket for a major act was this year? This is printed by the Wall Street Journal.
Ooh.
This is the average cost of a concert ticket for what they called a major act for a stadium show this year.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So we're talking.
I think
not Taylor, right? Or
I think Taylor's included.
Taylor's into the account.
She's
oh yeah,
included,
I think we're. I think it's got to be big names.
So Taylor, Adele, U2.
Yeah,
the big names. Yeah, This is what they called them major acts.
$100.
Biggie.
Oh, higher, 200,
252.
Yeah,
200 for an average ticket.
Yeah,
must be thousands of dollars for front row tickets, of course, or for really good seats. 252 for an average. So if you and your wife, your girlfriend want to go, that's going to set you back $500 and probably a dinner beforehand too. And I just told my
you're
wife,
fancy.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, well, I think you have to. I mean, 252.
Yeah,
and that's Wall Street Journal. That's clocked. Okay, that's a big name.
I'll tell you this. I saw this posted the other day by a friend of ours, a friend of the show, Chris Wiles, comedian.
Yes,
he's a giant Rolling Stones fan.
Yes,
he said that I guess last year when they toured, he paid. If I'm going to get it right, I think he paid $575 for front row seats. He posted. But he said this was it. This was my big one. You know, I wanted to. I love the Stones. He said he went and looked at their new tour.
Yeah,
that they just dropped. They're selling tickets for.
Yeah,
those same seats are now $1,100.
Wow! So he got a deal at $575,
and he said, "I guess I'll never see them again."
11. Well, he could buy cheaper seats, but still,
yeah. But that's how much it's changed and gone crazy. Prices in the last year or two. It's like they took the pandemic and went, well, now we're really going to screw you. We know you want to come.
And I don't want to. I mean, I don't want to. I'm sure the Wall Street Journal has done their homework. But you know, when you factor in acts like Taylor Swift and the Rolling Stones, but if you wanted to see who's that guy that you fell in love with at the Country Awards, the Jelly Roll guy.
Yeah.
What are his prices? They can't be that high.
I don't know.
I think he's selling out arenas. So
well, I know that, but I bet it's not. I bet it's not $250 for a ticket.
No, but maybe upper level you could probably still get for $75. But I bet lower levels easily
200.
Over $150.
You think?
Yeah,
I don't know
for the Jelly Roll.
Now, does this include? And I don't know this about the Wall Street Journal article. I skimmed it. Does this include if I pay $1,000 for a seat to go to see Taylor Swift? You know, on StubHub or whatever. You know, if you go on to some
now that I don't
secondhand,
I would bet the Wall Street Journal did retail price.
I think so too.
You know, not secondary market.
Yeah. Well, here's the question. We know the prices are high, and I'll ask now, Chris Demm. You can think about this if you'd like. What do you think is the best value you ever got for a concert ticket, even if you paid $200 for it? The show was so good that it exceeded. You were like, that was a bargain, you know, when it came out. Like maybe our friend Chris Wiles would say, even at $575, not only worth it, but exceeded.
Lifelong bucket list item.
Exactly. You know, for me, it's Garth. I believe we paid about, I'll say about $100 a piece for those tickets to see Garth now. But they were, no, wait a minute. We got those free.
No, you didn't pay for
We got those tickets
those
free.
I noticed your body language gave it away when you put your hands over your mouth.
I'm going to tell you what happened on that. I remember now, Biggie and I saw Garth together 9 years ago.
Just happened to be sitting together in the comp seats.
That's right. Now, we had bought tickets to see Garth for about $100 a piece, and they were not that great to see. They were okay. And then we had someone come to us, I can't say who works in this office, and says, well, I got a pair of tickets if you want them. We got them comp, and just gave them to me. And they were great seats.
Now,
yeah,
you'll have to sit next to Biggie.
Now, one caveat with these tickets. Biggie and his mother will be sitting right next to you. But that was a great show for a great price. $0. And the show was phenomenal. Even if it had been $100, that would have exceeded my expectation.
Yeah.
Of course, you probably paid very little for tickets way back, you know.
I think my Doobie Brothers ticket was probably, that was 1976. I bet it was $8.
Yeah.
$9.
That's a great value. Now, that's a great value for a concert ticket. So, but I don't know. I haven't been to enough concerts.
Yeah. The best, probably off the top of my head, the best concert experience I ever had for the money was Van Halen 1979, London.
That's the answer.
Yeah.
Then that's your answer. So what do you think you paid for those tickets?
They were $16.
16?
It was £8.
So you get $16 tickets to see Van Halen, and they put on an incredible show, I'm sure.
Blew my mind.
So that's it. There's your answer. What about you, Biggie? What's the best value you ever got out of a concert for what you paid for the ticket versus the experience at the show?
That's tough.
I know. I've only been to like 6 concerts. You know,
I mean, I've been to several concerts. Garth sticks out because it was free.
I didn't say that.
You missed the second half of the question.
I'm trying to think of what I paid.
For the dollar. Garth was free. That was a great show.
Did see the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and that show sticks out. And
how much
we didn't pay a ton for those. I think even back then it was probably $50-$60 a ticket.
So that's a pretty good answer. That's a good.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I will tell you this. We paid $100 and something to see Guns N' Roses when they first got back together. A buddy and I went to.
So that's a good show for even if they got back together.
It was, yeah. They played for close to 3 hours. They played all the hits.
Worth the $100.
Yeah, and I think we paid $150 each, and that was well worth it.
Ooh, really?
Well, for that much, for what we got, because we weren't. I wasn't sure what they would do, how they would be.
$150, and with them getting older, I'm not so sure.
Older?
I don't. Well, I mean, if you say I paid, whatever for them in 1988, it'd be like, okay, yeah, but whenever they got back together, but I did hear they did a good show then.
They did.
What era was this, Biggie?
This is when they were reunited. I think 2014, 15.
Okay. So not that long ago.
Is this with Duff and Slash?
This is with Duff and Slash.
Okay.
That was the big deal.
So the whole crew was there. Everybody, most were there. Okay, not like what? Didn't they get together like AC/DC at one point? Or
Axl sung with AC/DC.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, I know some people.
That was a good show.
Yeah,
that was a good
people
show.
said that was very good. Yeah, I remember hearing positive reviews out of that one. Your answer about Van Halen for $16 is fantastic, but that's 1970.
Lost the T-shirt though. Broke my heart.
Too bad.
Yeah.
I saw the Eagles in 1994 on their Hell Freezes Over tour.
Mm-hmm.
And the ticket was $108. And
that was the one. That was the one that broke the $100 mark.
That's right. And I remember thinking, okay, this is a good show, but it's not worth $108.
But weren't you trying to impress a young lady?
I was, and that didn't work either. So it didn't matter. That's right. So that was a bad.
Yeah. So you cracked open the wallet.
All around. Yeah, I had to pay for those. And all around that did not go well. Cole, you're talking about the best value you ever got out of a concert. Go ahead.
Well, it wasn't me. It was my dad. So he and I are actually massive Metallica fans. We've seen them together a couple times. He got to see them a couple times before I was born back in the day. He said when they came to Greensboro Coliseum in '92 on the Black Album tour, when they were just massive, he got to see them lower level for like $15.
Goodness.
That's it.
Wow.
What a great answer. $15, lower level, 1992 Metallica. Yeah.
Black Album era.
Yeah. And people follow them all around the country. That's right.
Your buddy does.
My friend Brian Thomas. He goes to every Metallica show you could imagine. He's probably seen them 50 times.
Do they have a name? Like Deadheads, Parrot Heads? There's got to be a name.
Cole, do you have a name for your Metallica brethren?
No, I mean, Hetfield tends to call them the Metallica family.
Okay, yeah.
Like the Kiss Army. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cole. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's a good one. That's real good. That's the one where my friend Brian Thomas met Dave Grohl in the audience in the pit at a Metallica show.
And you didn't recognize Grohl.
I don't like to repeat that. I'm not a guy. I'm not a concert guy. I saw NKOTB over here outdoors. I'm gonna say $25.
Is that at the theme park or is that?
That's over at the football stadium.
Okay.
And that probably set me back. Well, it may have been free. I think I got those tickets for free.
Yep. No, wait.
Yeah, that's a good
Coming
show.
back to me now.
That's a good show, though. Jeff, great concert value. Go ahead.
March 1965, Greensboro Coliseum, Rolling Stones, second row floor, $4.50.
No one will top
65 Stones.
Cannot be topped. That answer cannot be topped. Rolling Stones, 1965, second row, $4.50. All right, forget it. The game is over.
No more calls,
Thank you,
please.
Jeff. Thank you, Jeff.
We have a winner.
Wow. I wonder then.
Lordy.
If it's $4.50 in 1965, do you think, man, that's outrageous? I don't think so.
No.
For the Rolling Stones.
I bet, and if memory serves, back then concerts were 30 minutes, 35 minutes.
Dang. And, what was it Paul McCartney was saying, the one that changed that was
Bruce.
Bruce Springsteen. Yeah, he started doing 2-hour concerts, and the Beatles were like, we did 30 minutes. What are you doing here? So it was just like what was that? Did you just like stopped on your way to dinner and watched a concert and then went out after, right?
That's why they could do sometimes 2 and 3 shows a night.
Yeah, they would do more. That's for get more people in there. Mary, you're talking about good concert value. Go ahead.
Yeah, back in summer of 72, I was in high school, and a bunch of us went and saw, for $12 a ticket, the Beach Boys, which they were horrible because that's when they were trying to do all their new songs, not the originals, the new.
Yeah.
But the openers were the Eagles.
Wow.
And that was before the Eagles were, really anything, and they were phenomenal. $12.
Yeah.
72 Eagles, yeah.
That's pretty cool when you go to a place and you see the opening act and like, wow, this person's really good. I don't think that's ever happened to me. Thank you, Mary. Of course, I've only been to a few concerts.
And, I don't think the Eagles had opening acts, right, when you saw them?
No. Well, if they did, they're just, I don't believe they, no, I have not seen an Eagles opening act. No. Garth had a woman sing, but
he did?
but it was just like somebody, a backup singer from the tour, or she was local.
Okay.
And it was a big deal. Who was it I saw? No. When was it Guns N' Roses opened for Aerosmith at one point, and people would go see Aerosmith?
Yes.
Yeah, this was many years ago, before Guns N' Roses were anything. And Guns N' Roses would play, and people would say they were better than Aerosmith. And that's when right before they blew up.
Yeah, the opposite happened. You asked a put up or shut up question about it earlier this week. I missed it. You talked about the artist who opened for the Stones in '81 for only 2 or 3
Two
shows.
shows, yeah.
It was Prince.
Yes.
And he was booed off the stage, and people just rained down stuff on him.
That's right.
And, because rock audiences, not open-minded in the early 80s.
That's
And
too
certainly
bad.
not about Prince.
That's too bad.
the skinny black guy up there.
Read more about that. That question was earlier this week. He played 2 shows. At the first show, they booed him. They threw stuff at him.
All kinds of stuff at him.
And he slunk out after 2 or 3 songs. And then he was ready to quit then, but Mick Jagger said, no, give him another chance. And so he went back out a second time. Same thing happened. And he's like, that's it. I'm done.
And he
Mick,
never opened for anybody else.
and then he blew up, of course, and never opened for anybody else again. Isn't that so? I never heard that story. And so but you go, and if you can appreciate it and not get into that mob mentality of, I'm going to throw things, you might be entertained a little bit. You might get a little something out of that if you have an open mind, right? If I'd been there, though, you know what I'd been doing.
Give me something to throw.
Right. Who's this guy? Who's this guy up on stage?
You'd have thrown and run.
Now, Prince used to perform sometimes like in women's undergarments.
No wonder.
So it probably, I don't know if he did with the Stones, but he was outrageous.
You think so, even when he was unknown? And
Oh, yeah.
He would do it.
That was part of his shtick.
Chris, you're talking about the best concert value you ever got. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was Guns N' Roses, and I think it was 1984, and I think the tickets were $18.50, but the cocaine I had with me was about 10 times that amount of money. But the good part about that, I met Guns N' Roses in Huntington Beach, California, on the beach out there. We were surfing, and they were making a video.
Oh, that's cool.
Crazy.
That's really nice. You get to talk to him?
Oh, yeah. Well, I talked to the women that were with them way more than I talked to them.
Well, all right.
Well, Guns in '84, they didn't even release their album until '87.
That's before they were big. But
They were just an LA band.
Yeah, but that was a great value, huh?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much, Chris. Very descriptive.
Yes.
You know?
California girls.
That's right.
Surfing, videos.